Steelers Nation, welcome back. Today we're diving deep into the latest from Pittsburgh, and let me tell you, this week has been nothing short of intense. If you've been following the action, you already know the scoreline against the Ravens, but what really went on the field goes far beyond the numbers. At M&T Bank Stadium, the team faced a gauntlet of challenges that could have broken less resilient squads, but the Steelers showed grit and perseverance that defines this franchise. It wasn't a perfect game, far from it, but there were moments that showcased what makes this team capable of competing at the highest level. The running game, which was supposed to be a cornerstone, struggled mightily. Against Baltimore's defensive front, Pittsburgh managed only a handful of yards on the ground, while the Ravens gashed the Steelers' run defense for well over 200 yards. Injuries piled up, making matters even more complicated. Key players like Darnell Washington and others went down, leaving the team to adjust on the fly. Patrick Queen suffered a significant rib injury during a crucial play, forcing him off the field, and the impact of losing a greened defender like him cannot be overstated. These were moments when coaches had to scramble to make sure the offense could still operate under pressure. Compounding these challenges was the need to integrate two brand-new wide receivers into the lineup, Marquez Valdes-Scantling and Adam Thielen, while Roman Wilson became a healthy scratch. The left tackle situation was also chaotic, with Andres Pete and Calvin Anderson both unavailable, forcing Dylan Cook into the lineup. Cook, who has been quietly critical to the team's recent efforts, suddenly had to shoulder a huge burden in a game where every snap mattered. Amid all this chaos, the team needed someone to step up, and that someone was none other than Aaron Rodgers. Now, on paper, his numbers look solid, completing 23 of 34 passes for 284 yards with a touchdown and no interceptions doesn't sound revolutionary, but the nuance of his performance tells a much richer story. Deep balls, the kind that have been scarce all season, came through in the clutch. Rodgers connected on 3 passes over 20 yards, all to DK Metcalf, for a combined gain of 121 yards. Another notable play, just shy of 20 yards to Calvin Austin, kept the offense on track when the team most needed it. These moments reflected his ability to elevate the game despite the challenges surrounding him. The quarterback's resilience was evident not just in the stats, but in the way he handled adversity on the field. One pass, tipped right at the line of scrimmage, forced him to improvise, catching the ball himself while dealing with defenders closing in. He even protected a fractured left wrist while maintaining control of the play. That's not something you see every day, and it's emblematic of a player who brings intangibles that are difficult to quantify but impossible to ignore. Rodgers' leadership extended beyond physical execution. His insistence on discipline and accountability was on full display. After a rough outing against Buffalo, he challenged his receivers to study film harder, understand their responsibilities, and execute with precision. In this game, Valdes-Scantling and Thielen ran their routes with purpose, taking pressure off Metcalf and forcing the Ravens to cover multiple threats. The preparation on the practice field paid off, as the offense looked sharper, more coordinated, and confident. The focus this week was palpable, and it translated into performance when it mattered most. Even at 42 years old, the quarterback moved with agility that belied his age. After rushing for a touchdown, he described his ability to navigate the field as a product of feeling good physically and trusting his instincts. It was not just a play to gain yardage. It was a display of situational awareness, vision, and quick decision-making that helped his team escape what could have been a disastrous play. His ability to maneuver in tight spaces, evade pressure, and extend plays is a testament to both his experience and his preparation. But the story doesn't end with the stars. Players like Patrick Queen demonstrated a level of determination that went largely unnoticed by casual observers. Despite injuries, Queen repeatedly urged to return to the field, refusing to sit out when his team needed him. These efforts often fly under the radar, yet they're the backbone of a team fighting through adversity. Watching the defense hold the Ravens to just 19 points, even amid attrition, shows how critical every contribution was. The Steelers' first place standing in the AFC North isn't just about headline plays. It's about consistent, often unheralded effort from the entire roster. The performance of the defense, while flawed at times, displayed heart and resilience. Through relentless pressure and smart adjustments, they managed to contain key threats and create opportunities that the offense capitalized on. Even when mistakes occurred, like the controversial catch ruling late in the game, the team's focus never wavered. Understanding the rules, adapting to situations, and executing under pressure were constants. And this level of composure speaks volumes about the culture instilled in this team. Offensive coordination, defensive execution, and individual heroics all came together to define a game that was as much about mental toughness as it was about physical skill. From coaching adjustments to player improvisation, the Steelers demonstrated why they can compete with any team in the league, even when faced with overwhelming challenges. The integration of new receivers, the management of injuries, and the leadership displayed by veterans all contributed to a victory that was hard-fought and deeply earned. Every snap, every play, and every decision mattered, and the Steelers navigated them with a combination of experience, preparation, and instinct. The energy on the field reflected a team committed to proving itself, not just through talent, but through effort and adaptability. Even when facing adversity, the cohesion between quarterback, receivers, and the line created opportunities to score and maintain control of the game. The resilience shown on both sides of the ball highlighted the underlying strength of a team determined to succeed, no matter the obstacles thrown its way. Through meticulous preparation, careful execution, and a relentless refusal to quit, Pittsburgh demonstrated the hallmarks of a squad capable of contending deep into the season. The moments of brilliance were interwoven with displays of grit, patience, and tactical awareness, resulting in a victory that was earned rather than gifted. As the team looks forward, the lessons from this game will serve as both a blueprint and a motivator, emphasizing the importance of preparation, focus, and the ability to rise to challenges when the stakes are highest. As the dust settled at M&T Bank Stadium, it became clear that this Steelers team is a complicated mix of potential, resilience, and moments of brilliance that only show themselves under pressure. Walking through the game, you notice the small details that make a difference. Aaron Rodgers wasn't just throwing passes. He was orchestrating a symphony amid chaos, keeping his eyes on multiple threats, and making split-second decisions while the offensive line was constantly adjusting to a rotating cast of players. The absence of starting left tackles forced creative blocking schemes, and yet he made it look deceptively smooth. His experience, his ability to read defenses, and his composure allowed the offense to operate efficiently even when the script was constantly changing. What really stands out, though, isn't just the flashy completions or the touchdown runs. It's the way this team adapts and reacts when everything around them is unstable. The Ravens' pressure was relentless, their pass rush formidable, but Rodgers maintained poise. There was one sequence in particular where the line shifted unexpectedly, and he had to escape a near-certain sack. Instead of panicking, he scrambled just enough to buy time, scan the field, and find an open receiver for a gain that kept a critical drive alive. That kind of improvisational skill is rare at any age, and at 42, it borders on extraordinary. Meanwhile, the defense did what was necessary to keep the game within reach. Patrick Queen, even when injured, showed a tenacity that epitomized the team's heart. His return to the field after missing plays demonstrated that Steelers players are willing to push their limits for the greater good of the squad. Tackles, adjustments, reading the opposing offense. All of these elements came together to prevent the Ravens from dominating despite their own statistical success on the ground. The defense created moments, and those moments were capitalized on by an offense that could make the most of opportunities. Special teams, often overlooked, also played a subtle but significant role. Field position mattered more than ever in a game like this, and the coordination between kickers, returners, and coverage units helped the Steelers maintain manageable situations on both sides of the ball. Every yard gained or prevented contributed to a larger strategy that, in hindsight, was the difference between a narrow victory and a missed opportunity. The Steelers' ability to execute in these smaller, often unnoticed aspects shows a depth and understanding of the game that goes beyond individual talent. Even the new receivers, Marquez Valdez-Scantling and Adam Thielen, adapted quickly to the offensive system. Their routes were precise, their timing synchronized with Rodgers' reads, and they provided enough of a distraction to prevent the defense from focusing solely on DK Metcalf. This synergy opened up the field and gave the quarterback options that were critical in sustaining drives. It was a display of professionalism, preparation, and execution that highlighted the importance of every player knowing their role and performing it to perfection. The pressure didn't end when the ball was snapped. As Rodgers himself showed, it was about anticipating the rush, understanding the angles, and making decisions that minimized risk while maximizing reward. His awareness of the field, his ability to improvise, and his calm demeanor allowed the Steelers to navigate situations that could have easily led to turnovers or failed drives. Each decision, whether passing or running, reflected a calculated risk that ultimately contributed to the win. It was the kind of quarterbacking that combines instinct with preparation, and it elevated the team when they needed it most. Injuries, while significant, became an opportunity for others to step up. Players who might not normally be in the spotlight were forced into critical roles, and they responded admirably. Dylan Cook at left tackle, for instance, may not have been expected to have a starring role, yet he protected his quarterback and gave him the time needed to make key throws. The collective effort of stepping into these gaps underscored a culture of accountability and adaptability that has been cultivated over years. Steelers players understand that in football, every role matters, and this game was a perfect example of how the sum of individual contributions can create a team capable of winning in hostile conditions. The narrative of this game also includes moments of controversy, notably the disputed catch at the end of the game. While fans and analysts debated the call, it was a reminder that rules, interpretation, and execution all intersect in ways that can dramatically impact outcomes. The officials, following protocol, ruled correctly according to the letter of the law, and the Steelers did not rely on any external advantage for the win. This emphasizes that their success came through skill, strategy, and perseverance rather than luck or officiating. Every yard gained, every defensive stop, and every well-executed play was earned on the field. What makes this victory so compelling is the juxtaposition of challenges and triumphs. The Steelers faced injuries, new personnel, and a highly motivated Ravens team, yet they emerged victorious because they executed the fundamentals when it mattered most. This game was a testament to preparation, practice, and in-game intelligence. It was also about leadership, the kind that shows not just on the stat sheet, but in the subtle cues on the field, in the encouragement from the sidelines, and in the ability to maintain focus amid adversity. The win was a demonstration of character, cohesion, and the mental toughness that defines championship-caliber teams. Looking ahead, the road doesn't get easier. The Dolphins await, and upcoming matchups will test the Steelers' ability to maintain momentum. But what this game proves is that when every player embraces responsibility, when preparation meets execution, and when leadership manifests in critical moments, this team can overcome even significant obstacles. The chemistry between veteran players and newer additions, the adaptability to injuries, and the mental resilience under pressure all point to a group that is capable of consistently competing at a high level. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Pittsburgh Steelers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Whispers are swirling around the NFL this week, as the league reportedly opens a formal investigation into the controversial clash between the Baltimore Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Sources close to the matter suggest that the intensity on the field may have crossed lines that could force league officials to take unprecedented action. While no official statements have clarified the specifics, insiders hint that refereeing decisions and potential rule violations are under intense scrutiny. Fans of both franchises are already lighting up social media, debating every replay and questioning the integrity of the calls made during the high-stakes matchup. The Baltimore side claims that critical moments were overlooked, fueling speculation that key penalties went unassessed. On the other hand, Pittsburgh supporters argue that the Steelers were unfairly targeted in crucial sequences, pointing to inconsistencies that could now factor into the league's ongoing review. Within the NFL offices, the mood is reportedly tense, with executives weighing the possibility of nullifying the game's outcome if violations are confirmed. While such a move is rare, insiders insist that the league is determined to uphold its reputation and maintain fairness in a season already charged with drama. Some analysts speculate that player conduct could also be a component of the inquiry, with off-the-ball incidents and sideline tensions under review. The rumor mill has only fueled excitement, with pundits predicting that the investigation could set a precedent for how the NFL handles contentious matchups in the future. Ticket holders and fans alike are watching closely, wondering if the Ravens-Steelers rivalry might face an outcome unlike anything seen in recent memory. Even coaches are reportedly keeping quiet, with cryptic statements hinting that the team's leadership is cooperating fully with the league's examination. As speculation mounts, one thing is clear. The NFL has placed this game under a microscope, and the football world is bracing for a potential shock. Whether the league ultimately annuls the result or imposes another form of sanction, the story has already captured the attention of fans and commentators nationwide, turning what was supposed to be a hard-fought rivalry game into the center of league-wide buzz. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Pittsburgh Steelers, make sure to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.